All right, here we go. Moral development. Where does morality come from? And again, talking about Sigmund Freud, I clearly it's all about me when I'm born, and it's only later that that superego emerges. So clearly, morality is not something that is inborn into an infant. So Lawrence Kohlberg believed that at birth there are no morals, no ethics, no honesty. There is none. It's just all ids, me, mine, no. Okay. Now, family is the first source of values and moral development. Absolutely, it is families that we get them from. In and so, lo and behold, one's intelligence or cognitive abilities and ability to interact with others, yeah, in the same right as cognitive development matures, as social development matures, moral development matures. Okay. In fact, there's a it was Lewis Terman. His direct quote was, "A dumb person cannot be a moral person." This was back in the 30s. I'm just saying, he's a famous psychologist, and that was his direct quote. Okay, but clearly the notion is you need to have cognitive development in order to have moral development. Okay, so the stages of Kohlberg's theory of moral development, pre-conventional, conventional, and post-conventional. And what we find is that the pre-conventional level, all right, it is really morality that is based on the outcomes to me. All right. Now, in theory, there's two stages in this level, right? The punishment obedience orientation and the personal reward orientation, two different stages that emerge, but basically they both are really involving operant conditioning. That is, good and bad behavior are based on its consequence. Right? The one law of operational conditioning is that behavior is controlled by its consequences, right? And that is the idea here. The notion of what is moral or good is defined by what is the outcome to me. Okay, and so all of a sudden, I will pick up my toys if you give me a cookie. Right? I'll give you this behavior if you give me this reward. I do not say bad words because if I do, my mommy will get mad. In other words, I perform this behavior and it's punished. And so clearly, rewards and punishment seems to be the main thing. And so at this point, I mean, we can say that a dog has morality, right? Because a dog understand. They know right from wrong, and they've got this notion. And you've seen dogs when they go hide in shame, when they knock over the garbage can, they know that that behavior is one that will lead to punishment, and they go hide. Okay. Well, once a child has in fact developed a theory of mind, has shed that egocentric thinking, it's possible to emerge at the conventional level. And at the conventional level, again, there's two stages: the good boy, nice girl orientation and the law and order orientation. Okay? So I do not eat in class because my teacher does not like it. Okay? It's similar to the rewards and punishments, but it's like the outcome itself is still driving the behavior. I don't eat this in class because the outcome is my teacher doesn't like it. Okay? Or I do not talk during a fire drill because that has got social disapproval. And so all of a sudden here it's, personal outcomes that are involved in, good or bad. And here it's more like social outcomes, something of this nature. But still, what we find is that morality at both stage one, or at there we go, at level one and level two, are still grounded in the world of reality, in tangible outcomes. Good and bad behavior are defined by absolutely real outcomes here on the ground. Well, when you get to the last level of moral development, the post-conventional level, all of a sudden morality is based on something far larger. So I pay taxes because it's the law and the law protects us all. Okay? Love it. I pay taxes not because it is the law, because it is the right thing to do. All right? And so all of a sudden, there is no tangible outcome by the time you get to the top here. It's like the sense of right or wrong isn't even based on is it a good consequence or a bad consequence. It's just morality transcends the consequences. Okay? Now, this is a fascinating theory of development, but again, it's very Western based, very Western based. And so there are they've taken Kohlberg's theory of moral development and taken it out to like tribal level cultures. In fact, back it up. Let me talk it up first here in America. They found that most people do not ever achieve post-conventional morality. They just never get there. Okay. According to Kohlberg, as he said, you need a sufficiently high cognitive ability before post-conventional morality can even emerge, and most people don't get there. But even if you do exhibit post-conventional morality, it won't be um, what you exhibit all the time. Even if it is something you're capable of doing, it will not be for every situation. And so I pay my taxes because it's the right thing to do. Going back to the last presentation, I believe it is my job to pay back to the world around me. In order for me to be where I got to in my life, many people sacrificed and paid for me. And it is my job to continue that out to the next generation. All right? And so, in some kind of a ways, this is sort of I pay taxes because it's the right thing to do. I have post conventional thinking. But don't get me wrong, at the same time, I pay my taxes because I'm afraid of the IRS, okay? So it's not like you always think, even if you have the capacity, doesn't mean you always think that way. All right, going back now, they pull this theory and they bring it out to some tribal level villages, and they're applying this. And what they found was when they went to like westernized samples, in every sample there was at least somebody that exhibited post-conventional morality, at least someone. When they went to the tribal village sample, 0 people exhibited post-conventional morality. None. None at all. And so I refuse to believe that so it's almost implying what? That morality is a product of Western thinking? No. The newer theories are emerging that are going to describe morality as actually having 3 different bases. Okay, it's the ethic of autonomy, the ethic of divinity, and the ethic of community. That's it. And so what happens is that, according to other more cross-cultural work, the morality that Kohlberg has established here is called the ethic of autonomy. That the notion is that I have think about the Bill of Rights at the beginning of the U.S. Constitution, and it lays out your rights. You as an individual have these things, okay? And if I were to take these things from you, I am violating your autonomy. And so, according to the more cross-cultural thinkers, Kohlberg only looks at autonomy when he considers morality. But many parts of the world are much heavier using community in sense of morality. So in America, like you say to somebody, "There's a guy, he didn't go to his own mother's funeral," and you're like, okay, it's not a moral violation. It's like wrong. But in other parts of the world, that is a fundamental moral violation that they will look at and say that is just fundamentally wrong. That person is wrong. Okay? We in America say I disagree with it, but that's his choice. No, not in other parts of the world. That is just fundamentally wrong. Okay? And then the ethic of divinity is the sense that morality comes not from anywhere here on ground on earth. It comes from something above. That morality has an existence that is utterly separate from anything that you and I experience here from day to day. Okay, and so there is just right and wrong is right and wrong because it is right and wrong. I mean, in that simple sense. So a fascinating idea, this Kohlberg's theory of moral development, but keep in mind it is westernized thinking that not everybody agrees with.